In this video, we are going to see how we can create the subtotals for all of these fields using an advanced technique. So for example, after the completion of each customer invoices, like this one, this is for AIB Foods Limited. When all of the transactions for this particular customer completes, let's say that I have the requirement that I have to see the totals for each field separately. Now, one way of doing this is we can create a manual sum right in front of this total equals to sum. Just choose this total and drag it all the way towards right for totaling all the fields. But this way it will take us a lot of time because we have a lot of data here. So instead what we can do is we can use the subtotal, but subtotal has a drawback. If you want to use the subtotal, all of the fields are put together, because whenever any field changes into something else, it will immediately make a total there. So we cannot apply the total here because the amounts for all the fields are different. Not for paid, we cannot do that. For amount, again, the amounts are changing in every single cell, so it will make the totals after every change. We cannot do it for description as well, cannot do it for reference, days past, date, all are different. The type is something which is unique. So we can try making the total here, but if we notice down here, we have some blanks, then we have the customer name, then we have the type heading. So at each change in data, it will automatically make a subtotal. So that makes this field invalid as well. So we have to find a way around or a technique that will enable us to do this. What we'll do is we will create a new column and name it as status. And under the status, we can define that equals to if we want to make the total right in front of this total. So we want the status to appear in such a way that it only shows something different right in front of this area. Otherwise, it continues through any kind of text. So for example, equals to if we will use this field, because whenever it is equal to this field, then we can change the criteria. Otherwise, we can keep the same criteria. Equals to if this cell is equal to total, and we have to write total in exact same way. Notice that there is colons as well. So we will put the colons in the text like this and inverted commas close. If this cell is equal to total, then show blank. Otherwise show no. That means we don't have to make the total there. Now, if we double click to send it down, you will see the magic. You might not understand it now. The status simply differs the normal data to the data where we want to actually make the total. So if you understand the logic, it's written no. That means we don't have to make the total, or just simply we wrote a simple text, whatever it could be. But when the status changes, that means at any change in this field, it will make the total right in front of this area. And that's exactly what we want. Now, finally, we need to select all data, and that's very simple. Just select the headings right above the data, not the second ones, but the first one that is right above the data. Control Shift right, and we will continue to move it manually. If there is some blank spaces, it will obviously stop there. Control Shift right, Control Shift right, Control Shift right. We have to press it a couple of times until we reach till the end, but we see another problem here. The problem is we have given a space in this data. So what we can do is we can just remove the space. Right click, delete, shift cells up, or delete the entire row. We want to shift cells up, click OK. No. We actually want to move these fields down like this. And you will notice that in the latest versions of Microsoft Office, the formula will automatically adjust it according to the references point. So we don't have to manually adjust that. Now our problem is resolved. Let's start selecting from the very next heading right at the top. Double click, hold Control Shift, drag it towards right, select until the end. In fact, we will not select these fields. We will select up to this point only. And then start selecting downwards. Control Shift down, and we are right at the end. We can also use Ctrl Shift and page down if you are having some trouble to select the data. And now it makes it very simple to make the subtotals. Just go to the data, click on subtotals, and if it shows you some error, no worries, click OK. At each change in what? At each change in status. At each change in status, we want to make the total. We want to make a sum. So sum of which fields? Sum of these fields. But if we notice, we haven't selected the upper and lower limit. This is the only heading that we need to see and make the total of. So let's continue, click OK. At each change in status, we want to sum of what? This field, 60 field, 90 range, and we will continue to select all of the numbers which are right in this heading. So up till the bottom, all good. Replace the current subtotals, all good, click OK. It will take some time and make the subtotals instantly for you. So it's not exactly at this point because it inserted a new row and shifted it upwards, but still our problem is resolved and we have the total right in front of each field, which is the same as this one. So if we select it like this, 21404, see it at the bottom, 21404 is the sum and we have the total exactly mentioned here like this. So this is the total for the customer based on the aging. If you want to see the sum right here and we can't see it in the status bar, right click here at the bottom and we can enable whatever we want. So that's how we can make the total. In the next video, we will see some advanced techniques of automatically formatting all this data to make it look professional. So just try this by yourself and I will see you in the next one.